And we are back. So last we left off, our band of adventurers decided that they want to leave Nippon very, very badly. You managed to kill and thwart the individuals that were attempting to close forever this portal to leave. You crushed some heads, you spilled a lot of blood, were lit on fire, and were nearly beaten to a pulp by a single man. But regardless of all of that, the unfortunate fellowship made it through. Yes, I love that name. And you have, through a bit of an attempt at a puzzle on my part, have opened up a portal into this tunnel that will hopefully, if this book with blood pages and demon skull in it is to be trusted, will lead you back to Sealburg. And that is pretty much it. So what are we doing at this moment, guys? The witch elves are hot on your trail, if you do remember.
Do I have control over my body right now?
So that is important to note, because as soon as this happens, as soon as your blade touches the doorway itself, your form shifts back to your normal self, and you feel almost lethargic, and you actually take a point of exhaustion. So you can go and write that down. You get 1 point of exhaustion for being magically forced to enter this form. And the two individuals, not Marius Wolf, are terrified at what just happened, at the aspect that was just driven forth. And they look horrified and are kind of backing away from you, Seamus.
Good, I don't like him anyways. I'm gonna walk in if I can.
Okay, begin walking through, and it's almost like walking through, like what you could imagine if you were to be able to walk through like Jell-O. Like it's cold and dense, but you can push your way through. And as you push your way through, you begin to first off, you begin to disappear from vision from the rest of the group that is looking on. And you tumble through, and you're in a very familiar space. Are you following him, Marius Wolf?
I'll be shouting at the other two to come on. Come on!
Okay, and I'm assuming you're kind of waving them in that direction, and
Yeah.
the woman, without much hesitation, follows suit, pushes herself
Of course she
through,
does.
and then... What?
I said, of course she does.
Of course she does, yes, indeed. And
I'll trust her.
The mustachioed man begins doing the same. And as he does, Marius Wolf, suddenly a dagger sprouts from his shoulder. And he cries out, and he stumbles into the doorway and falls through. And as you glance back over your shoulder, there is a smiling face and a very tall, lithe woman with an arm outstretched where a dagger once was moments before. And she is garbed very similarly to the women that you face in the forest and the heads that are dangling from Seamus's belt. And she is covered in dried, desiccated blood and cackling maniacally and charging in your direction.
I'll kind of smile back at her and be like, "You're welcome to follow us into hell." And then I spit and I go into the door.
Okay, you push your way through the door and you stumble back into a very, very familiar space. First off, the corridor, if you guys don't remember, because it's been so long ago, the corridor is about 70 feet wide. You are on cold, hard stone. It is uncomfortably cold in here. Not below freezing, but uncomfortable. And it's very dimly lit. You cannot see the ceiling. You have no idea how tall it is. And the ground actually isn't lit itself. You just know it's there because you're standing on it. There are...
Even me?
Excuse me?
I have night vision.
Oh, that's right. You do have night vision. I forgot about that. So you would kind of you'd be able to make out the like cracks in the stonework and things like that, but the others definitely can't see it all. So you do have a better sense of what's at your feet, and you see basically just stonework.
Okay.
The light sources are these glowing runes that are glowing blue, except in the portion that you have entered is the same portion that you left from. And actually the walls and most of the floor outside of a few feet that you guys are standing in is covered in this almost thick mucousy membrane that resembles something akin to snot, and it has a sickly green color to it. Also, it apparently is covering the glyphs, so instead of shining a dim blue light, they are shining a dim, almost greenish yellow light around. And you see about, I believe it is about 20 feet. No, it is 30 feet ahead of you. There appears to be a field of corpses that litter from wall to wall. And they are each covered in this mucousy membrane. And you'll remember this was one of the last obstacles you had to pass through to leave and get into Nippon.
Yeah. As soon as I get through the door, I'll just like yell at Seamus. They're coming, Seamus! And do I see the mustachioed man?
The statue of what?
The mustachioed man.
Oh, yes. He's in here. And he is currently clutching, trying to pull the dagger out of his shoulder. And the woman has a hold of the hilt of the blade now, and she wrenches it free, and some blood pulls out. And then also appears to be some other kind of substance is running down his back now, in addition to blood. Apparently the blade was coated in something.
Yeah. I was just gonna be like, Seamus, you know the drill. We gotta run.
Can I see in this tunnel?
So you can, it's dim lighting. You can see. There are portions of the tunnel that are complete blackness. Uh-huh. And it is rather unnerving, and it is a very horrifying sight laid out before you. And it just keeps going on and on, as you very well remember.
Is the door still open?
It is still shimmering behind you.
Yeah, we need to. I'm gonna start running, and if the woman and the mustachioed man are slow, I'm gonna pick them up.
Okay. Apparently, adrenaline is definitely coursing through a few people's veins because they are moving as fast as humanly possible. You make it to the field of corpses. How fast are you guys moving?
I'm booking it. I know how fast those elves are.
Athletics checks all around.
Is Marius at disadvantage with his carrying people?
He's not carrying anybody yet. He might be soon, though.
Ooh, crushed it. I rolled a 9.
Okay, good.
I rolled a. I'm gonna have to use a fortune because I rolled a 17, but I'm at -10 because of my exhaustion. So
yep. So just to make it a success. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that is fine. So, you both pass. Marius, are you out front booking it?
If no one else was starting to move, I was gonna start the party moving.
Okay, so Marius is out front. You're picking out a path, picking your way through. I mean, it's about a 30-foot section of just bodies, and they appear to be covered in that substance, and they are apparently almost locked in rigor mortis in very strange, odd positions. Some hands are dangling up, some feet, just weird angles about it. It's very disturbing. And sometimes it even seems like some of them are moving, but surely they can't be. They've got to be dead. And you pick a path through, and Seamus, are you picking up the rear, or are you right behind Marius?
I assume I can, with him carrying people.
He's not carrying anybody yet.
Oh, okay. I'm behind Seamus. I don't care about those other two.
Okay, all right. So you're right behind Marius. You guys are picking a path through, and it's at this point, Seamus, since you are the furthest back, you would hear as the woman stumbles, loses her footing, and the mustachioed man stops and picks her up. And they are lagging somewhat behind the two of you at this point, and they are moving as fast as they can. You breach out of the field, Marius. What are you doing? Are you just going to keep running full tilt, or are you going to have a look around?
I don't know. Probably. Can I still see the shimmering door behind us?
Okay.
In this range.
You glance over your shoulder, and you see that the door, almost like as if two doors were closing, the light is getting thinner and thinner, and you get the idea that it is closing at this point. Your dark vision
do I hear
only,
anything or see anything?
Yeah, your dark vision will allow you to see that far.
Okay.
Barely. And you don't see anything.
Okay. Then I don't see any elves. Which elves?
No, you do not. You do not see anything burst out of the doorway.
Okay. Then I guess I'll kind of just take a look and see what's around us. See if I see anything in front of us.
Okay, go ahead and make me a perception check. You can do the same, Seamus.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that's bad. I got an 83 out of 40.
Yes.
I got a 72 out of 51.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Are we
I'm gonna
re-rolling
re-roll.
some
I'm gonna
checks?
re-roll. I gotta re-roll. This is my last fortune. I'm going.
Okay,
for
go
it.
ahead. Go ahead. Go and re-roll this. Nothing bad's going to happen, I promise.
Another bad happen.
I do have a question though.
Yes.
So all those episodes ago,
Yes.
I remember we went through some type of like trap-laden field of dead bodies.
Yes, this is the one you just came through.
Okay. Is this where I threw my coin purse, or was that a
No.
different group?
Actually, technically it would be nearby, but go ahead and make me. This will be a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay.
At a minus 20.
All right, I'll go for it. Oh, critical failure. That's a 96.
Yeah, you don't see that coin purse. You knew you threw it in somewhere around here. It's probably gone or stuck in the mucus. It's gone. So, did you pass your earlier test, Marius?
I did. I got a 7 out of 30.
Okay. All right. So you feel pretty confident that you are going to be able to spot. I'm assuming you're looking for hidden threats, things of that sort.
Yeah, I was just looking. I remember last time. This is kind of about where, if I remember correctly, the hordes of
Yes,
zombies.
Very shortly, very close to where you're at, and you do see that there are like smaller tunnels branching off of this, and most of them are caked with this mucus, almost like it's made like just a solid membrane from the floor up 20, 30 feet. And it's disgusting and throbbing, and there's just this horrendous smell wafting off of everything that's covered in this stuff. But you don't see any moving creatures.
I still think we're kind of moving at like a relatively quick pace, you know?
Okay.
I don't know if we're full on booking it, but I feel like we're
It's
jogging
definitely
here, you know?
an unnerving sight. And if you risk any glances towards your new companions, you would definitely see that they are losing their shit. This is a horrifying sight, especially for somebody that wasn't prepared for what was happening. And needless to say, they probably think that they're in hell. So yes, you guys are, you guys are making your way forward. It's at this point, Marius Wolf, that you do start to see movement. About an hour passes of you just you're moving, and you're still not out of like the disgusting kind of sticky stuff, but it is starting you're starting to find patches of it that aren't there, and things like that. And the light is dimming and waning in certain areas, and you're just on edge the entire time.
Yeah,
but you begin to spot some movement at you're still coming across dead bodies, and they are covered in just that disgusting like gunk. And you see movement forward and to your right, and you just kind of glance over, and there's a figure hunched over apparently one of the bodies, almost like it's like inspecting it or rifling with it. What would you like to do?
And I can't tell what it is.
So, with your perception check, you can tell that it's definitely humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to be wearing a long black, almost cloak or something of the sort, maybe a long cape. It's kind of hard to discern. Your dark vision, it doesn't give you like details, and it doesn't give you like colors for sure. But
yeah,
it looks like a human. It looks like a human inspecting, or probably you're not sure what they're doing. There's a dead body laying on the ground, and they're doing something to it. And their back is turned to you.
I'll kind of like raise my hand so Seamus knows that something's up.
Okay. You raise your hand,
and
Seamus, you glance over and you follow Marius's eyes, and you just see corpses.
All right. I will stop and kind of like hunch down a little bit.
Okay. Marius, what are you doing now?
I'm gonna pull out my pick,
Okay.
and I'm going to get the fuck out of there. I'm running. Let's run.
You're running?
Yeah.
Okay. You start. Now, you have to move past this thing. I mean, the tunnel's wide. You can give it a pretty wide berth.
Yeah.
So is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Marius just gets this panicked look in his eyes, and he just starts booking it. And Marius, as you pass by, you see the figure straighten up to its full height. And what you thought would be just a normal man, as it begins standing up, suddenly it seems to almost be elongating. And it went from being 5-6 feet tall to 7.
I knew it.
To 8, 9 feet tall. And as it turns around and looks at you, you see the familiar face of a plague doctor's mask across its face. and it just glares down at you as you run on by, horrified, looking at it. And you keep
Sigma
running.
protects me.
Seamus, you don't see anything, but you begin following Marius in suit.
Yep.
You get maybe 5-10 minutes further down the tunnel, and the people don't know what you're afraid about, but they're already in a manic state as it is, so they're following as quickly as they can. And Seamus, it's at this point that you see some movement off to your left. Do you care to stop?
I keep running.
And observe. You keep running. Okay.
Yep.
There is a tunnel. It looks similar to the tunnels that you've been passing, though this one is clear of any mucus. But you do see a figure kind of beginning to walk out of the tunnel as you run on by. Another 10 minutes pass. Are you guys still running?
Yes.
I probably slowed down. I probably slowed down.
I've been here
like
before.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
it still mucusy?
It is in patches. It's not like as thick as it was, but it is still, you're still in that environment, yes.
I mean, if my endurance is going to hold out,
Okay.
I'm in it for the long haul,
Okay. You guys, with your guys' endurance, you guys can probably do this for a decent chunk of time. Now, the people with you, probably not. And they
Sorry.
are slowly starting to lag behind. Farther
I'd probably start
and further away.
I'd probably start to slow down.
Okay.
I just don't want to leave them.
Seamus, are you slowing down as well?
Slightly, but I still want to be in the lead.
Okay. All right. You begin slowing your pace, and Seamus, you've passed 2 more doorways in this time, and in each of them there is a figure, and it appears to be walking closer and closer to you each time you pass a doorway, almost as if it's the same doorway, and it is just approaching you slowly but surely. And as you slow your pace, you look to your left once again, and another corridor is coming up. And a figure begins to emerge from said corridor. It is about your height, maybe a little taller. And it is wearing a tattered black cloak about its body. What would you like to do?
Keep running.
Okay, you're still moving. You keep moving forward, and you notice that as you begin to pass, an almost skeletal hand emerges from the robes and reaches out for you. And you notice some of the hood shifts back, and there is this ethereal skull with maggots and pus sweeping from the eye sockets. And it just opens its mouth and screams. I need you to make me a cool test, Seamus McCready.
Ooh.
Do I see any of this?
Oh. I rolled a 45 out of 44.
Oh. Can you use any fortune?
I can.
You make it a
I
pass?
will. Yeah, I'll make it a pass.
Okay. All right. So this horrifying sight emerges, and you almost have a heart attack in the process. You clutch at your chest, and and you keep on moving, knowing that there is something unnatural about this tunnel, and something is pulling you. And the creature, as you pass, is motioning for you to approach it. It wants you to come. And you get the feeling that if you maybe wouldn't have been as stalwart of an individual, you would have unwillingly approached said figure into the darkness that would ensue. So yes, good check.
Cool.
So with that,
I'll take candy
you
from
keep moving. Another hour goes by. You're still in this filthy, disgusting, syrupy stuff. It is thinning. It's getting even thinner and thinner. And there are entire patches. You'll go through like a 30 or 40 foot patch of nothing, where it's just the regular stonework. But the people behind you apparently are starting to lose their minds. It's bad. The two refugees are looking very, very upset.
This is a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The both of you are probably
This is
not doing so
normal for
hot
us.
either, especially since the last time you came through here, you were drunk on magical elixir. So this is definitely a much more horrifying experience than the previous time. Marius, you begin seeing the plague doctor several times. Sometimes he's behind you, sometimes he's in front of you. And it's just always on the edge of your vision. And when you go to look, he's there for a moment and then he's gone, ducking into the shadows.
I'm trying to. I know they can't understand me, but I'm trying to encourage the refugees.
Of course.
If I can.
Of course.
And
do your best.
And just like, I know my words can't reach you, but you must press on. These are all tricks of the mind. There are dark things in this tunnel, but the illusions, don't let them ensnare you. Sigmar will protect us and guide us home. And I kind of keep an eye on them, so if they start like going through the wall, or if they start
Okay.
doing
That's
something
fair.
crazy, I can
That's fair.
intervene.
All right. You begin shepherding the refugees. You guys are starting to approach. You can just feel that the air is getting even colder, and you feel like you're leaving the plague zone, if you would choose to call it that, currently. But as you are about to leave, I need both of you guys to make me perception checks.
That is a 40 out of 51.
Okay. Marius?
You said perception check?
Yes, perception.
Ooh, that's an 11 out of 30.
Okay, good. That's a critical success. So, awesome. All right, you guys are perceptive as hell. You are very highly agitated and on the lookout for danger in this environment. You are approaching what you know to be probably the edge of this area. And Marius, especially with your dark vision, you see several figures in the actual darkness. Seamus, you can't see them because you don't have dark vision. And there is no light shining on them. And they are very well hidden. But Marius, you see these several figures up ahead. They're on each side. There appears to be two on your left and one on the right side. And they're on the edges of the tunnel against the walls. And they are of a pretty substantial size. They're not large as far as mechanical terms, but they're pretty big. And you definitely get a very nasty smell coming off of them. And Marius, with your critical success, you see that there is a single horn growing from the center of their heads, and one massive eyeball that decorates the top of their skull. And you definitely recognize these as the plague bearer demons that you passed through on your way here. There are 3 of them. and they are mumbling to themselves, and it looks like they're pacing back and forth, looking at the wall and looking at the ground. But you do notice them ahead of time. How would you like to approach this situation?
I'll try to slow everyone down quietly if I can.
Easily enough. And are you guys going to attempt to stealth your way past them, or what are we doing?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not in a fighting shape right now.
I know. I was just debating if we should stealth by him or we should run by him. You know. I guess we'll stealth, and if shit goes wrong, we'll run.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make me your stealth checks. Do it. Let's do it.
Fuck! I'm running. I'm immediately running.
I rolled good. All right. Well, I rolled a 4 out of 16.
Oh, okay, good.
But I guess if he's
how bad did you fail, Seamus?
I rolled a 97.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay, so here's what happens.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do or attempt to do?
I've got one fortune point left. So.
You can re-roll it if you like.
Yeah, since he passed, I'll re-roll.
Okay. Go ahead.
Gee.
That's a 92. So I'm running.
Yes. So here's what happens.
Okay.
Seamus is leading. Marius, you're kind of starting to shepherd the people. So we're kind of in that order: Seamus, Marius, and then the two refugees close to you, Marius. And are you picking a path towards the center of the tunnel, or are you going to veer towards one of the sides? Because you have 70 feet to work with. You have a lot of room.
Was the creature on one of the sides?
So they're up against the walls. There's 2 of them on your left and 1 of them on the right.
I want to go straight down the middle.
Okay, we're going straight down the middle. So you adopt a more cautious stance at Marius' behest as he warned you of the approaching danger. And you crouch down low and begin walking, or slinking, crawling almost, attempting to avoid the attention of these demons. And as you begin approaching, you get within where you're almost even between both of them, and you can hear them. They're talking. They're mumbling to themselves. They're counting, and they're laughing and smiling. And even now, even the people with you can make out their forms, even in the darkness, because they're not doing a very good job of concealing themselves to begin with. And you get about to the midpoint, and nothing happens at first. You keep on walking, and they're mumbling and looking around, and you get about 20 feet past them when Seamus steps down on a desiccated finger of a corpse, or at least you thought it was a corpse. As you step down on it, it crunches and bleeds, and the corpse whines and whimpers, as it was not quite dead. It was just molding and becoming rot and disgusting ooze. And as it does, the demons all shift their gaze and begin smiling and laughing to each other. And immediately you all hear, as if you remember, they each carry a bell with them. And they begin hammering the bell, and you just hear a cacophony of bell rings echoing up and down this corridor. What are you guys doing?
We're getting the
I'm running.
fuck out of here.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm like pushing the the refugees like, this is serious. We gotta run. You know.
Okay.
Like, we gotta run.
You start making your move to run, Marius, and as you glance around, Marius, and you grab a hold of the refugees, this happens very, very quickly. You see the plague bearers begin to trot in your direction, ringing their decayed bells in their hands. The air starts to thicken around you, well, around all of you, and it's starting to heat up more. It was getting colder, but now all of a sudden there's a lot more heat coming. There's also this horrendously foul stench that comes wafting out of the darkness. It is the worst smell you have ever experienced, either of you. It's the worst. And then you hear loud, wet, bubbling laughter coming out of one of the sides of the tunnel. And this colossal creature lumbers into view, Marius, and you can't help but just stare at it for a second. It's towering some 20 feet tall on extremely bloated but humanoid body without a neck, as like folds of fat and flesh have enveloped the head. It appears to only have 2 arms and 2 legs, but one of the oversized arms is dragging some kind of massive, almost meat cleaver about the size of a wagon, and it's caked with dried blood and weeping pus. Its skin is torn and sloughing off, exposing meat underneath, and one particularly wide cut across its belly reveals squirming intestines pulsing with heat. There is a too wide grin across the creature's face, revealing rows and rows of shark-like teeth and a lolling tongue the size of a person. It doesn't have a nose, but small slits where they should be, and 2 pupilless eyes that appear to be white and almost dead. There is a large rack of antlers atop its head, swaying as it laughs, and upon each spike there's a human corpse dangling that appears to be alive as they reach out and cry out in your direction from diseased, desiccated throats, and you can hear their pitiful moans. The creature opens up its mouth, and this foul words begin to spill forth. Grandfather will be most pleased. Come and share in his blessings. And he throws his arms wide and begins charging towards you. I'm assuming you guys are running at this point.
Run! Run faster!
And as he's charging, the ground is shaking underneath his feet. Boom, boom, boom. I need all of you guys to make me athletics tests. We are in a skill challenge.
Oh, skill challenge. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I rolled a 9 out of 16.
Okay, good. And Seamus?
I got a 13 out of 27.
13 out of 27. Okay, Seamus. Seamus, you see an opportunity. You see an opportunity to possibly purge some of the darkness from your soul.
Oh!
As everyone is beginning to sprint and you're making headway, Marius is in a panic. He's still trying to shepherd the individuals with him. But Marius doesn't notice that the mustachioed man is starting to really wane from the poisoned wound that he has been inflicted with. And he's starting to stumble. And you could call out to Marius, and Marius could possibly catch him. Or you could let him go and allow him to be savaged by this creature and possibly give you more time to escape. The choice is yours.
Oh, no.
Let him get savaged.
Yes! Yes! You can remove a point of corruption from your soul. As
Can he?
He can. He can. You lose a point. Some of it kind of dissipates.
I feel so much better
from your body. As you are at a full sprint, you glance over your shoulder, see this happen, and just keep it to yourself, running straight forward. Marius, you grab a hold of the woman because she's just horrified, and you grab a hold of her and begin running, and you don't notice that your second companion is starting to lag behind. And you, at a full sprint, you're covering ground, and then you just hear a bubbling, ho, 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 ho. You glance over your shoulder, Marius, just in time
Java?
to see, almost like Java, to see the man just, he's throwing down his spear at this point, and he's just trying to run as fast as he can, and he glances over his shoulder, and he throws up his hands as he's not going to make it in time. And out of the intestines, the writhing intestines, creatures burst forth from this monstrosity as it is not fast enough to keep up with you. But suddenly, there are dozens of small, foot-tall creatures in the image of the one that they were just birthed from, that just cascade out of its writhing wound across the mustachioed man, and you just see him go down in a squeal of pain, just and he's screaming in his language as he is being devoured alive by these creatures as they are just feasting upon him. And the massive creature is still chasing after you, and it casually steps over his eating children and is still pursuing you. But he looks like he took a few moments to watch this happen.
Oh.
Grandfather will have you all. And it reverberates around the tunnel around you. So yeah, that was a good deal. I liked it. Good stuff. So we are running we're running as fast as we can. And at this point, Marius, you are carrying a woman with you, very, on point for our adventures. So at this point, I need you guys to make me an endurance test to see how long you're going to be able to keep this up.
Okay. It's 18 out of 50.
Okay.
Damn.
Seamus?
A 68 out of 65.
Yes. Good failure. I love it, Seamus. Love it. Seamus he's starting to lose steam, Marius. He's starting to lose steam. Actually, it would be worse than that because you're at -10 for all your rolls.
That's right.
So he's really starting to lose steam. He is.
Does he have exhaustion?
He has 1 point of exhaustion.
He does now, I guess.
Yeah. So you can tell that Seamus is starting to lose ground. You begin to pass him as you're running in your desperation.
Me carrying the woman?
You're carrying a woman, you still pass him. He's starting to lose strength.
Embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Marius is a strong man though, so a physical specimen when it comes to the human race. But you begin to pass him at a full sprint. And the creature still lumbering behind you. Boom, 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 boom. That's one fail for you, Seamus. If you hit 3, there might be problems.
No.
So it's at this point that you can see that there's more tunnels ahead of you. You've made it out of the sticky, gross substance that was like this natural plague that has been exuding those parts of the tunnels up. You've made it to the open, normal parts of the tunnels that are still rather creepy and dark. But it's at this point that you both see something rather horrifying. As you're running ahead of you, Marius, you see standing in your direct path a 9-foot-tall figure with a mask dangling from its face. The plague doctor. is staring at you with his arms open wide. And at his feet, you see a mound of corpses, and they all look very familiar as you recognize each and every face from someone from your village from all that long time ago. And I need you to make me a cool test, Marius Wolf.
All right. That's a 21 out of 50.
Okay. All right. You know this can't be real. It's not real. And you kind of close your eyes. Are you going to run straight through him, or are you going to try to run around him?
If running around him doesn't adjust my speed, then yes. But
you
if
have
it doesn't, I'm running right through.
plenty of room to work with. This is a large tunnel. It might slow you down just a little bit, but not too much.
I'd still be ahead of Seamus.
Oh yes, you'll still be ahead of Seamus.
Then yeah, I'll walk around.
Okay, so you see Marius kind of split off for a second, Seamus, and you're desperate to at least try to get ahead of him, because surely if it eats him, it won't eat you. So it's at this point, Seamus, that you see a very similar figure in your path, except for yours is a very skeletal, wraith-like in nature, with the desiccated face of a skull with the worms and maggots writhing out of it and the pus weeping from its eyes. And it opens its arms and it looks like it's going to attempt to embrace you. I need you to make me a cool test, Seamus.
Okay. Oh, this is why I was saving all those fortune points. Ooh, that's a 2.
Okay, without any second thought, Seamus, you stave off any fear that might have overcame you. Are you running through him, or are you running around him?
I'll run around him.
Okay, all right. Nobody wants to run through? I mean, come on, it's going to be fun.
I don't. No thanks.
Sounds
That's
dangerous.
That's fine. So you run around him, slows you down a little bit, not much. And you can hear that the steps are starting to get farther and farther away from you. Though you can still see him lumbering behind you in the distance. It looks like he could be on you within a minute or so. So you've gained significant distance on him. But it's at this point that the two of you start hear a more high-pitched kind of squealing and laughter. almost like children. And Seamus, you being the farthest back, glance over your shoulder and notice that there is, from wall to wall, a field of those tiny 1-foot-tall creatures in the image of the massive gargantuan one that are rushing behind you. And they are very, very fast. What are you doing?
I'm still running.
Okay. Well, how about you, Marius Wolf? Just full run, or what are we going to do to overcome this obstacle?
I mean, I don't have anything besides...
You've got nothing?
Throw the woman.
No.
I mean, you could. That would be a viable option.
No. I mean, how far can I make a guess or a roll to see if, like, how much time we have before they catch up to us?
Go ahead and make me an intuition test.
Oh no. 41 out of, well, minus 10, so that would be 14.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So you definitely, I mean, you're too panicked to gauge distance at this moment.
Okay. I mean, I guess I would probably just run, try to put as much distance between them and us as I can, and until it starts getting real close, and I'll have to, like, try to fend them off, I guess. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. At this point, because you guys are choosing to do an endurance test again, it will be at -20 this time. So let's hope nothing goes wrong.
Let's hope. Oh no! For me, that's a 46 out of minus 30 for me. So that would be. Out of
Oh,
30.
excuse me.
So
I
46 out of
said
30.
-20. I meant -10. Sorry.
Okay, so minus 20.
Yeah.
So that'd be. Well, it's still a fail for me, but it'd be a less of a fail. It'd be 46 out of 40.
Okay. That's a degree of failure. How about you, Seamus?
Is this for endurance?
Yes.
All right. And I'm at a -10.
You're at a -10. You're technically going to be at a -20 for this roll.
That's a 9.
Okay, so Marius, you're beginning to feel the weight of this woman. I mean, you're strong. You're Marius Wolf, but you've been running for a little while at this point, and the adrenaline is starting to wear off a little bit. And you're starting to lag behind, and Seamus actually passes you. He's ahead of you. Seamus is ahead of you, making a full sprint. You just see him pass you in your peripheral. But you are not that far behind yet. It is at this point in time that the two of you, after another 10 minutes of just running, you see just the flicker of light at the end of the tunnel. And you know that the end is close. The way out is approaching. You have just a vestige of hope left. And you hear a shout in the distance behind you. And then you hear just a as the small creatures cry out and as the cleaver is thrown from down the tunnel in your direction.
Jeez.
Like I said, it's the size of a carriage, and it
Yeah.
smashes into the creatures behind you and begins tumbling in sporadic direction towards you guys. First off, I need both of you to roll me a d10.
Okay.
Ooh.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, Seamus.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, so Seamus, it is moving in your direction. It hits one of the creatures that must have smacked into the rock beneath him, and as it clatters, it starts spinning. It starts spinning in Seamus's direction. This is a combined skill challenge to see what is going to happen. So, Marius, I need you to tell me how you would either like to attempt to save Seamus or intervene in his immediate demise.
If I'm close enough, I guess either trying to knock him out of the way of the.
So you want to take his place?
And well, maybe pull him out of the way is a better thing.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Go ahead and make me a basic attack. It'll be just your weapon skill, straight.
Okay. That's an 8 out of 36.
Okay, that is gonna do dividends to this. How many levels of success is that?
2, I think.
Okay. Seamus, I need you to make me a dodge with a +20 because Marius helped you out.
All right. Dodge. Ooh. A 34 out of 47.
Ooh, that was close. So just at the last second, Marius, this tumbling piece of metal is just smashing behind you, and you see it's veering off in Seamus's direction. And you reach out, and grab a hold of his shoulder, and tug him just enough. And Seamus, as soon as you feel Marius's hand on your shoulder, you glance back and see the cleaver about to smash down and turn you into a bloody mess. And you shift your run towards his direction, and you manage to not get murdered at the very end of the tunnel. You both hit the ground running. As it smashes into the wall, a cascade of rocks erupts from the side of the tunnel, and you hear this bellowing scream behind you of frustration. "Grandfather will have his due, wolf." And you both hit the doorway. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of Rise of the Forsaken.
Yeah.
So, whew, man, it got a little intense at the end. Got a little intense. But, man, that was awesome. It went pretty well, guys. You're out of Napone. You should be excited.
We made it out.
We did it.
You made it out. You've pretty much made it out of the tunnel. You know, it's gonna be smooth sailing. It's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. You're definitely gonna end up where you want to be. I mean, that's just part of it. You know, it's gonna be great. But
it's gonna be A-okay.
Before we wrap it up officially, favorite moments. How about you, Jumbo Smooth?
You know, I was originally thinking when I critted that samurai.
Yes, that was a good one.
And killed him, but I think I like the part where the flaming fist punched Seamus in the jaw.
That was pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, pretty good. Not gonna lie, that was man. You guys got your ass beat. That was fantastic.
We did.
So I thought the encounter was going poorly on my part. I was like, man, this is becoming not a challenge whatsoever. And then it's like,
I know. I was like, we're steamrolling this.
Yeah, and then it turned drastically. So, Doobie, favorite moments?
I was going to say making it out of the tunnel and into Sealburg, but now you freaked me out, and I feel like we're going to be in, like, Dark Elf territory.
I mean, you could. Who knows?
So,
you go to Nagaron.
I'm going to say
suck.
It was a terrible tragedy that we lost the mustachioed man.
You did. You lost him. He's gone.
Man.
You sacrificed him. I will say that was probably my favorite moment, was the sacrifice of the mustachioed man. I just loved him getting ripped to pieces for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. But yeah. I personally, I liked I liked my giant creature.
Oh yeah, he's creepy.
Yeah. For those of you at home, that's definitely a great unclean one. So there is that. It would have been bad if they would have been caught by it. So yes, that was it. But man, it was good. Good session, guys. Good sesh. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did. And I am going to close this out unless you guys have any final thoughts.
No, it was a great session.
Yeah.
Good session.
I'm
awesome.
Scared.
So I would like to say a thank you to all of the listeners out there. Thank you guys very much for watching and for listening, mostly. I appreciate all the support we've been getting. Do go ahead and leave us comments down in the comment section on what you thought about the episode, what you think the band of man, what are you guys called again? I just forgot it. No. Dang it.
Yeah, the
hold on.
It's something fellowship.
We're terrible.
Unfellowship? Damn it.
No, it's the unwieldy fellowship? No.
The unfortunate I'll look it up again. Damn it, I can't think of it right now.
Unfortunate fellowship.
Unfortunate, there we go. The unfortunate fellowship. I need to write it down. I'm going to write it down. The Unfortunate Fellowship, that was a good name. I appreciate that. But regardless, I have been Jumbo Thick. This has been Rise of the Forsaken. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far, if you have. And we are looking forward to bringing you more. And there will be more.